Okay, so when we're working on self esteem, it takes practice and intention, but it is well worth our efforts because there is a clear link between higher self esteem and quality of life. Accept compliments. Avoid the urge to deflect praise. Instead, hear the compliment and let it in. Research shows that difficulty accepting compliments is directly linked with low self esteem. Give yourself a break. Forgive yourself for your mistakes and squash your negative self theories and negative self talk. No one is perfect or loves everything about themselves. Don't expect that of yourself. When you find yourself beginning a negative spiral, ask yourself, are you being both fair and realistic to yourself? Love yourself, flaws and all. We all may have things that we wish were different or want to change or just aren't happy with. Love and respect yourself anyway. Value the person who you are. Aim to accept and find worth in who you are right now. Seek out and feel pride in what makes you feel unique, happy, valued. Recognize the importance of high self esteem. Once you start to see how your view of yourself impacts life satisfaction and overall well being, you may become more motivated to change your thinking and learn how to value yourself more. Seeking support. Therapy, such as CBT or cognitive behavioral thinking, can help you work on issues that may be counterproductive in maintaining a positive self outlook and help you to build skills to change the negative self talk and help you achieve a more optimistic view of yourself. Start a gratitude journal. I really like this one. In your journal, write down all of the positive things in your life, all of the things that you like about yourself, all of your accomplishments or your qualities about yourself that you're proud of. Then read your journal whenever you're feeling down about yourself. Take note of your thoughts. When negative thoughts arise, actively choose either to work productively on those issues or decide to just let them go. When you have positive thoughts, aim to amplify them, especially when the negative thoughts come up. Think of yourself as a friend. You are much more likely to be more patient, loving, forgiving, kind, encouraging, supportive, and proud when you assess a friend than you are to yourself. So the next time you are beating yourself up, take a step back, shift your perspective, and look at yourself as you would a friend. Work on yourself. If there are things about yourself you don't like or don't feel good about, thoughtfully consider what changes you can make. Then make a plan to put those changes into action. And the last thing is surround yourself with a solid support squad. People who truly love and care about you will be your biggest support system on your journey to positive self esteem. Surround yourself with people who invigorate, inspire, and energize you, and people that make you feel positive and capable of reaching your personal goals.
Brilliant.
Okay, so we'll do the first one.
Okay.
When we're talking about self esteem, it takes practice and intention, but it's well worth our efforts because there's a clear link between higher self esteem and quality of life.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can't. Yeah. I'm going to
Okay.
try saying absolutely. Not many times I heard absolutely on them previous recordings. Right. That was our answer to everything. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so the first one is hold on, I need to skip the bottom. Accept compliments. Avoid the urge to deflect praise. Instead, hear the compliment and let it in. Research shows that difficulty accepting compliments is directly linked with low self esteem.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I can
It's
see.
very hard for me to accept compliments.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really not anything. Well, I'm not going to say not anything special, but I'm just me, you know?
Yeah, I think it's hard to find to find a line with it because if you were to take on too many things that's been nice, like nice things that's been said to you, if you were to take that on board too much, then you just get full of yourself, and then you're a big head, right? And
A lot of us have a fear of narcissism because a lot of us have been in narcissistic relationships. So you don't want to pump yourself up to that level of an egomaniac or a narcissist. It's all about balance, and that's balance as well, accepting compliments, but not getting big headed.
yeah, so how do you do that? How do you get that, adopt that right frame of mind or that right heart where you can take it on board and say thank you without it?
It just says in this briefly, I mean, I can research it more, but it just says avoid the urge to deflect praise. So, like when it comes at you, instead of deflecting it, let it in. Might be hard, but do it one step at a time. Like you might not be able to accept every single compliment that you get, because that's unrealistic, because it talks all the time about keeping things realistic and that you are capable of doing. So I would just start with, one at a time, whatever sticks, and don't try and worry about accepting every single one.
Yeah, but as well, it could go the other way. There's some people out there who are always fishing for compliments. They want loads of compliments, right?
Right,
So it's kind of like, and you could say, well, those people are insecure. Therefore, they're fishing for compliments because they're trying to build themselves up on the words you say. And so they're always fishing, right? Yeah. And
right.
that's not healthy either. But if somebody gives me a compliment, I kind of take it a little bit, I find it a little bit hard to take in sometimes because I think, oh, they're just saying that because they're trying to be nice.
So I think that's something that we could all work on as a first step to actually getting this into action is for all of us to take note of when we accept a compliment, maybe like write it down. And then the next session that we have, see how many compliments you took in, because it'll
And be,
probably be a little while before we do the next one. So just see when you receive them if you can let it in instead of deflecting it. And then we'll see how many we did and make progress.
it could do, yeah. It's a case of actually trying to think of, like, remembering it and, yeah, and like, because, like, I mean,
I can post that as a prompt, maybe, or something like that.
yeah, compliment about your looks, and you could tick how many times somebody says something about the way you're dressed or the way you look, about your hair or something like that, and then compliments about the way you behave, the way you are, compliments about the way you've um, replied to something somebody said to you, you know,
Mhm.
maybe.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So the next one is give yourself a break. Forgive yourself for your mistakes and squash your negative self theories and negative self talk. No one is perfect or loves everything about themselves. Don't expect that of yourself. When you find yourself beginning a negative spiral, ask yourself, are you being both fair and realistic to yourself? It's easier to forgive those people who are capable of forgiving others who've wronged you than forgiving yourself. And I find that to be very true for me, um, because I think when you're forgiving yourself, you have shame and guilt for the mistakes, and we harbor them more than we are able to forgive others. Like we basically imprison ourselves with it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
I guess maybe, I was thinking about that as you were saying it, and I'm thinking, how would I forgive myself for saying it? I suppose I'd have to address something and then almost apologize to myself that I let myself do that or think that way or act that way or make that mistake and, you know, even
So,
apologize
are
to myself.
you saying you have an easier time forgiving yourself, or it's something that you work on, or
No, so I'm thinking like, how could I work on it? And I'm thinking maybe that would be the way to do it is, you know, say to yourself, make some excuses for yourself without making excuses for yourself, you know?
Right.
You know, when I was younger then, I was stupid and, I thought I'd be all
And
right,
there's
but
a saying, don't blame yourself for what you didn't know before you knew it.
yeah, yeah,
In other words, if we were young and stupid and we didn't know something, then how could we have, known what could happen? So life is the
mhm,
learning experience, and that's pretty much what that statement means.
yeah. And even if you did something, knowing full well that you was going in dangerous territory, you know, sometimes, you take a chance and you think you'll be all right because that's the way healthy people often think is like, take a chance, step out your comfort zone, right? Well, that time you
Right.
did it and you got burnt that time. So even though you kind of knew better than to do that and you still went ahead and did it, well, that's because you was being optimistic and that's not a crime. Other people do that and make a success of some things, a lot of things.
And I think also the reason maybe that we make those mistakes and those decisions is because we've either had trauma or something that we wanted to break away from. So we tend to self medicate to numb ourselves. And
Mm,
that can lead to bad behaviors and bad decisions,
yeah.
especially. I don't find a problem with it now, but when I was younger, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have that problem when I was younger, but mind you saying that, what I'm saying about. I guess I never self-medicated, but you know, I'd have a drink, I suppose. Um, I never considered it
Yeah,
self.
not all people, just a lot of people, because, excuse me, you don't want to feel whatever feeling that is uncomfortable. So you want to numb it out and make it so
Yeah,
that everything is better.
yeah. So
And
as it
usually
goes,
that's some form of drug.
yeah. And in some ways, you remember that time when we had that other chat topic where it was actually a guy was recommending if you're going to go out somewhere or do something, it actually could be a good thing to have a little drink before you go, just to
Oh,
loosen you up.
yes. If it's safe for you to take a drink or something to relax before, because there's some people that can't.
Yeah, so if it's safe for you and it's not going to be habit forming, it wouldn't hurt just to have one to loosen you up before you went, just to be able to relax you. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
yeah, too much and then you'd be too loose, wouldn't you? So
So the next one is love yourself, flaws and all. We all may have things that we wish